So, you guys go in the inn?
Yeah.
We go in the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Go in the inn. You walk in, and it is a nice, warm, refreshing change. There's very few people here, actually. There's about two people, two patrons, and
About two. Now who's doing the math here, though?
Plus
well, I mean,
10
there's a
of us.
one of them's in the shadows, and there might be a third person behind him. You can't really tell. So at least two, maybe three. In addition to the barkeep, who is wiping a glass with a greasy rag, who waves at the lot of you as you come in and goes, it's great to have some customers today. What can I get for you all?
I'll have that rag, please.
How about the glass that it's polishing and maybe some beer to go
crunchy.
with it?
if you insist.
He starts filling up a large pitcher. As you guys
Pitcher
find
of
it.
ale. Doesn't hit the
That's for
spot.
you. You're pregnant, lady.
I
just said
forgot.
it was okay.
I forgot. I can't partake. Have you any food, barkeep?
Yeah, we can get some eggs for you if you need.
Mm.
Maybe some bacon.
Eggs
Maybe
are
some
quite
beans.
appropriate with the reproductive theme we're going with.
Glasses for the rest of us, please. For that beer.
I'll take the drink.
You'll file in around, find a table, two tables suitable for you guys, pull them together, and are seated. Is there anything you'd like to discuss tonight? Anything in particular you'd like to do, or are you just trying to...
How fantastic the rocks I collected are.
Everything is awesome.
I'm trying to convince the group that we need to stop being so high profile everywhere we go and spreading the word about the plan about Mixmore.
I want to
I'm
sit.
sorry to say,
Okay.
Rocker, one of your rocks has cracked. You set it down on a table and notice that there is a crack down it now.
It's just hatching, it is. I'll take care of that.
Do you eat it?
That's none of your concern.
My rocks. It was my favorite one.
Don't worry, it'll pass in 2 to 4 days.
I'll find you another rock, dear.
But it told the best secrets ever.
I can't help myself.
Neil's getting it.
I,
Neil is so over our shit. I'm sorry, Neil.
no, you guys are doing great. I don't know what to do with you.
I sit and talk
Yeah, I
to
get that a lot.
the barkeep, and I can't help myself. I like get into a very Scottish sounding kind of furor, and I'm just talking about how much I love the king and how great he is and how terrible Meximorph is and long live the people and blah 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 blah. But not saying like we're starting a movement, we're trying to kill him. Just like hail King King Arthurus. Nope, that's our land. Cerberus! King Cerberus! Long live King Cerberus! Severus.
Cerberus.
I couldn't remember if it was Severus or Cerberus. I think it was supposed to be Severus, but then we started saying Cerberus.
Yeah, I think we
Cerberus.
just started calling him Cerberus.
Yeah.
While
Well-
she's distracting everyone with her talks, I slide over to my other halfling friend and ask if we should go steal more horses. We do need them after all.
It's true, I'm getting hungry.
To ride!
I say we should investigate and find the proper location, study it, and do that once we leave town so that we're not hiding horses for 2 days.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But let's go investigate!
Yes!
So we're gonna steal horses on the way out of town?
Maybe, if there's...
Maybe.
maybe.
If there are
Borrow?
horses to be stolen, yes.
I would like to see it as borrowing horses, really, not stealing.
Yeah.
Borrow from the poor, steal from the rich, right?
To be returned at a later date, unless you
Yes,
forget or can't find the person you borrowed it from.
Yes, yes.
So we'll just drop it back off at the town.
I
It's
don't
like
hear
rent a
any
car,
of this,
just
right?
Drop it back off somewhere
So,
else.
Neil, Nicole and I are gonna go study up the town to see which kind of horses are available. If some of them look like they belong to people who don't like the king.
That's racial
Rich people's
profiling right
horses.
there.
Rich people's horses would be great.
Okay, how many people are heading off on this? Is it just the two of you?
the other thief wants to come along, maybe we should invite him.
I assume
Artists.
you need people that can be sneaky about this.
And we want to leave the majority in the bar so we are not suspicious.
Yeah, I'll stay here.
Tarius the thief and Nicole and I. Gilly, Tarius the thief, and Alexis.
Okay. So the three of you set out
Is he
to
down?
look. Yeah,
Or
he's
the-
down.
Okay.
Yeah. When you say you want to go steal some horses, he nods and kind of gives you a look that makes it seem like he's done this before.
Ooh.
Alright.
While they leave, I go over and stand by Rocker, and I'm like still talking about the stuff I'm talking about, but I'm also like holding her rocks up for her inspection, like, you know, the way that you help like someone that you're not really paying attention to, and you're just like you're talking but they're not listening to you at all. So I'm just like mindlessly like blah 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 blah, and she's like handing me stuff, rocks, and I'm like, you know, holding them for her while I'm talking. Yeah.
This one is very kind.
I'm like, yes,
This
and the
one
king and the
is
realm, and yes.
Angry.
Of course, but we
one has
we
quite
really
a
must make sure the
temper,
poor
really.
people are upheld, and yeah. So we'll just stay and do that while they're going, because I didn't know that they're going to steal horses.
Yeah, they just kind of went off and did it without you.
Mhm.
Cool. So, let's see what trouble you guys get yourselves into today. You set off into the town, which is pretty much, the streets seem to be abandoned. It must be after, well, at least evening, maybe night has already set in. It's quite dark out. You are in this forested area, so the sun would already be behind the trees, even if it were daylight, and the shadows would be long. The only real light sources are the strikes of lightning that flash in the sky and what few lanterns are hanging in the streets, or maybe, you know, the light pouring out from a house here or there. You don't see anyone else out there, not even the guard who you had watched previously. You travel through the streets of Blorengale. Can I get D20s from both Jen and Days?
What do you want us to do? Roll?
A flat D20.
20? Okay, so I'm doing it in the very highly technologic Nexus 5K with things that 17
Okay.
proof. You totally
Yes.
can't see it, but oh yeah, you can now. Okay,
No.
it's 17. Whatever.
Like that, but without the period.
Got it.
Okay. So, Days, you or Gilly, you have not been to this town before. You are pretty much lost. Going, I don't know. I have no idea. Jen, what's your character's name again? As
Alexis.
Alexis. Alexis, you have been here a few times. You've traveled through this on the way to the front and on the way back, and in your exploration with your contacts back in the other town, you've been here a few times, and you have a pretty good idea of where the nobles in this town live. So the three of you set off towards the north side of town, as far away from the mountains as possible. The mountains are usually associated with peasants and miners and dirty dwarves that might live around there, so the nobles prefer to live as far away from the mountains. You get to the northern side of town and see a few very large estates, as well as one very nice inn. There is light coming out of almost every window. The sign is fastened properly. There's no, broken windows, and the sign does not squeak as it flaps in the wind. Everything about it seems perfect. It's freshly painted. There's a stable with a perfect roof. There's a whole stable full of horses, actually, although there is a stable boy on watch.
How should we approach this?
The
We just
stable
need
boy?
to study up this time, right? We're coming back once we're leaving. So we just need to figure out the weakness.
Yes. So, shall we approach the stable boy?
What should we
Can
talk
pick
about?
his pocket, right?
Maybe we can ask him if we can leave our horses here, how much it costs, what's the care given.
Yes.
There's always someone on watch.
Asked to be seen the inside, and that way we can scope out how many horses they really have.
Good. Let's go.
So,
We go there.
who approaches the stable boy?
All of us?
Well, there are only
Who's
two
going
of
to
you
s-
there.
We're 3.
Yeah, the NPC thief is with you, but who's going to do the talking? Who's the first to say something?
I am. Hello,
Do it.
sir. We have some horses with us that we would like to place here. How much do you charge?
He looks up. Did you bring the horses with you? The 2 that you have?
No. We
looks
left them
up.
at the bar.
Oh, invisible horses. You left them at the bar with Zoidberg.
Yeah, we've had some bad experiences in the past, and we're seeking a better upgrade for our horses.
The horses are free with the knight. If we don't stable horses independently. Sorry, Mrs. and
So we need to
Mrs.
stay here in order to have our horses stay here.
He nods. He looks like 11 years old. He's pretty young.
Well, we would be willing to stay here if you can promise good care for our horses. Will they be brushed, fed? Can we see the conditions of the stable?
I guess so. And he gets up, trudges out into the rain, and opens the door to the barn.
I notice how
It's
it
stable.
opens, if it needs a lock, no lock.
It does not seem to need a lock, although as you guys walk through the doors, you notice there is room for a key, and you do notice a locking mechanism on the gate. It just appears to be unlocked at this time. The inside of this nice large red barn has a hayloft up top and room for 24 horses, although at the moment you only see 6 stabled.
Exactly how many we need.
You have 10 people.
Yeah, but with the halflings and we already have 2 horses. I'm pretty sure we would have enough.
Oh, we could just leave 2 behind, you know.
Ah, light snack.
So he's in here and he goes, these are the stables. There's another stable boy on hand to take care of everything, and this is the brush that we use. There's blankets aplenty if it gets cold, and there's plenty of hay. And
Do you always surveil the horses, or are they ever left alone?
always what?
Is there always someone looking after the horses, or are they left alone sometimes?
No, ma'am. We would never leave your horses alone. There's always someone watching out, make sure horse thieves don't get them. Although, with the war going on, horse thieves have been hunting down pretty heavily. It's no longer penalty of death to steal a horse.
What is it now?
Hang, draw, and quarter, ma'am.
What does that
Ugh.
mean now?
It means they'll tie you to a wagon wheel, break every bone in your body, and then attach each of your limbs to a different animal and have them just rip you in pieces.
That's many steps for killing someone. Lots of efforts.
Very painful
Good
way
show.
to go, they
Good
say.
show, though. I heard it was a good show.
Well, we're so glad to have people always watching over the stable. We will consider it. Are there any others in town? We want to see our options.
Other stables?
Yes.
And inns, but mostly stables.
I guess, yeah. Then he lists a few inns and stables in town.
And then okay, so thank you very much for the information. We will browse around and then select our appropriate option.
Scratches his head. Oh,
Wise consumer.
okay.
You're a good boy.
How long are you staying in town for?
Couple days.
Okay.
See you later. Have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Is it taller than me?
Yes.
Fuck. Alright, then I don't say anything. I
You guys
tried to make myself
leave,
taller.
and he shuts the gate behind you and goes back to his spot in a pile of hay under an overhang.
So guys,
Alright.
I'm thinking we need something cheaper. This is too... How do you feel, Tarius?
Well, you wanted to steal a horse, right?
Yeah, maybe we should
They're gonna
steal-
kill you if you steal a horse anyway. Objective here is not to get caught.
They'll only kill you if you get caught. So how good of a thief are you guys?
We need a distraction. That's what we need.
You need a doctor, you say?
We're not
While you
even
guys
there.
think on your plans, let's flip back to the other party members. Other party members, you are sitting in this tavern.
Enjoying a lovely meal. Or 3.
You're absolutely sure now that there are only 2 other patrons. That weird shadowy thing behind the guy in the shadows was actually just a coat rack.
You can never tell.
Fine.
You can never be too sure.
Are you with us, Dr. Zoidberg?
I am, yes. I'm
Okay.
like face deep in a plate of food, though.
How do you
So-
eat with your blade hands?
Well, it's just kind of faced with like
Oh, okay, so just like face
a lot of that
first.
action. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like everything is a straw for me. So, yeah.
I'm
It's
really
efficient.
interested in this, so I'm observing you keenly. I'm like, that. It seems like a very effective way to eat food.
I don't need a knife and fork, you see.
I think I must try this in battle. It'll make things more efficient.
Rocker's just like I was watching you eat all this food. Like,
I've like kind of tired myself out on the subject of the kingdom, and I turn to Rocker and I'm like, "Dear Rocker, what do you think of the situation in which we find ourselves in this fair realm?"
I think the people need more mushrooms.
More mushrooms, you say, and what do you think that would accomplish?
People will be very happy.
Hmm.
And
Doctor,
then we'll give each other gold, and no one will complain, and we'll... She like sort of like starts to doze off.
I was like, Doctor, do you think there's any medical reasoning behind this? Do you think that we should be looking for more mushrooms for the people to stimulate the economy, as it were, as Rocker says?
Of course. She's a very smart lady.
Rocker, where could we find such mushrooms? Could we test it in this town?
Oh, mushrooms. I have a few in my pouch here, and I just like
Willing to share with the doctor. You can call in a favor anytime.
These are my mushrooms. But I was very fascinated by the way you ate, and then I just take one out and I hand it to the doctor.
Pungent.
Rocker, is there anything unusual about this mushroom? Is this an edible mushroom? Is there anything that I should be aware of when you
Well,
feed her this mushroom?
It was
It has medicinal properties.
hallucinogenic mushrooms because it's the ones that I found in the forest in the beginning.
Okay.
So
Okay, Jess. You have 2 hours before hallucinations set in. Enjoy.
Oh, okay. Wow,
2
very
hours.
slow acting mushrooms. They are. All right.
Rocker, we certainly wouldn't want to steal all of your mushrooms, but perhaps we could find more and hand them out to the people, as you suggested.
yes, I like this idea very much. Yes.
Doctor, what do you think?
Yes, very good. I shall help. I can trim them up for you.
Oh, quite nice. I don't know where our companions have gone, but I'm sure they would approve. We'll just have to come back here after we're done collecting mushrooms.
Rocker, will you carry them for us in your pouch?
Mhm. Yes. I'm
Much
very excited. Let's
appreciated.
go.
So you guys are hanging out, talking, getting ready to bed down for the night, when the back door, not the front door, the back door is kicked open, and in strides this broad man. He must be about 5'10", 5'11", with this huge belly that's been draped in boiled leather. At his side dangles an axe, and in his 2 hands is a 2-handed axe. His boots are covered in mud they're like knee-high boots, and they're covered halfway up the shin with mud. His purple cape flows behind him and kind of like rests on him as it's soaked through. And filtering in after he steps in through the door are a couple of kind of scaredy cat, cowardly looking henchmen's not the right word. What do you call them?
Minions.
minions. That's a perfect term for it.
Why not
Couple of
creeps?
minions
I think
file
Heroes
in
of the
after
Storm.
him. And he looks around at what is it? 10 minus 3. The 7 of you.
You're so good at math.
So good
There
at math.
might be 2 people. There are about 2 people in the end. We're not really sure.
It's 9 a.m. for me, and I've been up all night. So leave me alone.
Leave me
Pick on
alone.
me. So he strides in, kicking the door open. His minions following behind, and looks at the 7 of you guys, spits on the ground, and says, "Ah, you're the ones they've been looking for, I hear."
I immediately have my hand on my battle axe, I think. And
I thought on your belly.
It's a longsword and a battle axe that you have,
Yes.
and you're specialized in longsword, I think.
right.
Or battle axe, whichever, it doesn't matter.
I'm specialized in battle axe, I think.
Cool.
But anyway, I have my hand on that, and I say, "Good sir, you are rude to spit in our presence, but to what do you refer?"
Couple of crazy people set fire to a barn a few towns over. We're headed this way. One of them, a batty old woman, always mumbling to herself. Another, someone whose voice keeps changing all the time. I don't see the other 2. Where are they? Actually, no, Soli's here. He describes Soli, who I can't remember the description
A
of.
blonde, short-haired, fairly normal warrior ranger type.
There you go. And then there's the little one, the kid. I don't see the kid anywhere. Maybe it's past his bedtime. But I'm here to take you guys in.
I'm certain you've been misinformed. Your manners need some work as well. We certainly don't match those descriptions.
As usual, he heard nothing about the doctor.
Oh.
I pat the doctor on the back. Oh, there.
Well then, Doctor, you needn't concern yourself with this. I'm just going to take these horse thieves in for some questions.
And what
Or
proof
maybe
have
just their heads.
Ooh.
Do you need any help separating their heads from their bodies?
you? Excuse me, Doctor.
Yeah, I got confused. Just trying to help.
I challenge him for proof.
You challenge him to what?
For proof. What proof have you of these allegations?
Proof. I'm sure you're the ones, and if not, I'm the one that'll be paying the price. So don't worry, you're pretty soon to be decapitated head on it.
Can I put him to sleep?
Ooh.
Yeah. What could you use to put him to sleep?
I have a spell.
But also,
You have
aren't there like 3 of them? So even if we can, like, are you?
Oh,
Can you?
there's.
Can you? Because he has 2 like had minions, henchmen.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So like, are you able to target multiple people with your spell?
yeah. Am I able? Do you have the link to the spell list?
Yes. Let me get you your spell list. Rocker. Here you go. No, your name is not actually Rocker.
Are you sure?
It could be. It could be.
Okay, here it is in Zoom chat.
Thank you.
It will affect 2d4 hit dice worth of targets.
Okay, so.
Targeting the creatures with the least hit dice first and moving on up.
Okay. So do I just roll a 2d4 first?
Yeah. Let me see if any of them realize you are casting a spell. They do not. I mean, you've just kind of been sitting there mumbling to yourself anyway, so all of a sudden your mumbling changes and you stand up and they don't pay too much attention. You get 2d4.
Oops, my bad. Forgot to put slash. Here we go.
3. The 2 minions at his side waver and collapse to the ground, falling asleep, dead asleep. And he glances to one of them and goes, "A spellcaster, huh? Better deal with you first." And this is where we would enter battle, but I think we should leave it on a cliffhanger instead.
Ooh. Okay, I guess that means it's break time, guys. We will take a very, very brief break, and we'll be right back. We will get into battle and continue the story after that. See you soon.